Well, guys, Long Haul Larry, and we're going to be leaving the wonderland, Upper Michigan. I'm actually going back to work. I know, we're going to give it a try. But I just got this in the mail today. I don't know if a subscriber sent this to me or what. It's actually a COVID test, 15-minute COVID test. Yeah, sent one to me and one to Tracy. And so I got those in the mail today, and somebody sent them, because it says Long Haul Larry on it, so I kind of think that's weird. So I don't think the government knows me. Hopefully not. But we're all packed up. And I have made a run down to Wisconsin and stored my snowmobiles and everything. And I brought up the summer toys. Look at that. There's my Yamaha Raptor 660. Needs front tires. I bought those like a year ago. I've never put them on there and stuff. And I need to go through it too. The carburetors and stuff are kind of wonky. It runs fine, but they leak real bad. It's probably just a float stuck. But I've actually went online and looked at a rebuild kit for those carburetors. $58. I can get those carburetors, a pair of them together, matched, all ready to go. Just put them in there. $48 on Amazon. That don't make sense to me. But I'm looking at things. But I got the bike all taken care of. And that's my YZ450F. And then I usually have the snow bike kit on it. That's a timber sled kit. This one is having an issue. All I got to do is put the summertime bars on there. I don't run those bars because my grips are heated on this. And I don't want to wipe it out or something and mess up my heated grips. So I have another handlebar and grips and everything. And I just got to switch it back and forth for summer and winter. But you're not going to be able to see it. But right there is in the side of the head, there's a little water jack thing in there. And a couple rides ago, I was riding with some guys and they noticed a little bit of oil leaking out of there. And I switched it over and I changed the oil and everything. And I ran it up to temperature. And sure enough, you can see oil. And I've stopped and talked to a mechanic that I trust. And I showed him a video of it. And I guess I could show that to here. And he said, that means it's got a cracked head. So, we got to figure that out. I'm also going to be in the market. I'm looking for another dirt bike. I want to get a newer dirt bike with electric start, and then I want to get another kit. And that way I have another kit. And I have two kits in case somebody else wants to ride or something. Maybe a drunk carpenter or something. But then I got Quasi, my CF Moto Z-Force 950. Got this all loaded up here and everything else. And got my suitcase ready to go. I actually got a taxi that's going to come pick me up because I'm not sure. I have a return flight on the 15th. But like I told the boss, I'm going to try to get this other truck running. But the problem is parts. And if I can't get the parts for this truck, I can't get everything done. And I'll probably fly back, wait for the parts. But if I can get everything and get the truck running, then I just may leave from there. I'm not really sure yet. So I may be flying back or not. I don't want to leave my truck sitting at the airport because it costs me $5 a day. And if I don't come back for like a month, then it's going to be expensive. So I got a taxi coming up here, a Uber taxi. So I'm all loaded up, packed up. Now I just got to finish shutting the house down. And taxi should be here in about 15, 20 minutes. And I'll be on the way to the airport. I'm driving a truck again. I'm a done-gone truck driver. It's a Volvo, but I guess we'll consider it to be a truck. I'm not driving truck full-time yet and stuff. What I'm doing is I'm out here at the shop. I arrived yesterday, and I'm gonna move over here. See, this is becoming a situation. I arrived yesterday, and he has a list of stuff he wants me to complete. But the thing is that he wants me to. I went through this trailer R74 that I'm connected to, and I made sure everything was good and everything else, and then I put some new tires on it and such. And I am actually driving this one up to Manheim, Pennsylvania, I guess. And I'm going to drive it up there, and I have to drop it tonight at some place. And then I guess somebody's coming there tomorrow, and they are going to be purchasing it, I guess. I guess the boss has sold this trailer. Oh, there's little the Volvo noises, you know. It's really super windy. It's kind of blowing me all over the place and everything. And I could turn the blinker off on a Volvo. There we go. But I guess the boss has sold this trailer. He has actually sold 2 trucks, and now I guess he has sold this trailer. Guess he's downsizing a little bit. He does have somebody that just quit. Had some issues at home they take care of, and I guess they quit. So I think he is still looking for another driver. So if anybody is interested in driving for ADL Transport, you should contact me or John or somebody, and we'll pass along that information, and you can fill out your application. But I am driving up to Pennsylvania, and I'm actually going to take this trailer to a truck wash and get it all washed up and cleaned up. And he wanted to make sure everything is all good and everything, because I guess the guy's going to come there tomorrow, and I guess they have a price negotiate. He doesn't want the guy to go back out on any of it. So he wants me to make it look like new. So that's what I'm doing. Off to Pennsylvania. Driving a, well, let's just say driving a Volvo. Let's say driving a truck. Because you guys know how much I do not like driving these new Volvos. We'll make it happen. Well, here we are, sitting in line waiting for a truck wash. I've done this in a while. It's amazing how much they charge for truck washes, and they actually don't even wash anything. They just spray stuff down. They actually don't, actually grab a brush and actually wash something. They just use these big wands and spray stuff down, spray soap on it, and spray it down again. But we need to, boss wants this trailer shined up. Gets as much money as he can for it. Well, guys, we got our trailer all delivered up there, and just moving on with stuff in the shop. This truck here is 797. It's the same exact truck that Big Blue was. And this is one of the drivers. He's been here longer than I have. He's been working here. He's been driving this truck. But just going through a whole bunch of stuff with it. And I tell you what, I don't know if you guys will be able to see or not. Yeah, you should be able to. See that hole right there? This is the bottom cover that goes on the bottom of the APU. And you see that hole that's right there. And the other mechanic, when we were pulling this stuff apart, he dropped it off. He dropped the cover off of it. And I was sitting there talking to him for a minute while I was working on a trailer, and pulled that cover off, saw that hole, and he was like, I wonder what's making a hole there. It's like something's rubbing through. And I'm like, yeah, that's the alternator pulley. That's what that is. And I laid underneath there and I looked at the bracket, because I've made brackets for these things. And bracket was all good and everything. And I jumped up and I says, I bet you it's motor mounts. And I looked at it. This whole plate, this is the motor mount here. This side was completely tight down to the metal, and this side was up like an inch. And I had to do a whole bunch of running around to get all kinds of parts and everything. And while I was at the Thermo King place, I got some new motor mounts. All right, there they are. This is what they come with here. They just sit up underneath there like that. And then there is another piece that goes on the top. And that goes over the top of it. And then there's this a bolt with a washer that goes through there and holds it. Just to show you what the motor mounts looked like that I pulled out. This was a good side. This was a motor mount off the right hand side. That's all that was left of it. I'll show you what the other side looked like. That's all that was left of it. So it was pretty bad. And I bet you it was making a bunch of clanging and noises and stuff. So I'm putting motor mounts in there. Pretty simple. I just pulled the bolts out. Kind of hard to do by myself, but the other mechanic, he had a doctor's appointment, I guess, today, so he didn't show up. But yeah, I just got them all loose. There's two in the back, two in the front. And then I just got a jack underneath there and just pry it up on the whole engine assembly. Now I'm just feeding that underneath there. I bet you that'll make a bunch of difference. Since I've been here, I've been just working on this board. And mainly in trailer 71 over here. You can see I've erased a whole bunch of stuff that was all around. I just got one bracket that I don't have it. And tomorrow I'm actually going to Hagerstown to work on the black truck. The black truck has a new motor. And there's been a guy that's been putting a motor in. And it was supposed to have been done a long time ago. Because actually I had a guy that I was hiring when I was doing the dispatching and stuff, and he wanted that truck. And the boss said, yeah, it should be here by this weekend. That was like back in December or somewhere in January or something like that. And it's still not done. And I actually stopped by the guy and asked him, I said, could I help you? And he's like, yeah. So I'm going to actually go there tomorrow and put it all back together. The boss is actually going to give me a ride there. And I'm going to piece everything together and get her back here. I don't know what his plan is with it. Just a lot of stuff. This is 797 right now. And basically it needs a new alternator, grease, check over front steer shocks, alignment check. How am I supposed to check the alignment? Oil change, DPF filter. We sent that in, pulled that out. And I actually took it to Hagerstown. It's getting cleaned. Temp sensor on the first axle, MEF sensor, coolant leak. We already figured that out as the APU. Changed the water pump. Replaced all the filters, 7th injector dozer, and a mirror switch. And APU oil change. Injector cup seals. That was one of the things. And I pulled that apart and looked down in there, and there's no coolant. He got a code one time, and he thinks that's what it was, but there is no coolant in the fuel separator or nothing. And I pulled it off. I pulled the valve cover off, looked down in there. There's no coolant down in there. So that is good to go. We could take that off. APU leaking coolant. Yeah, we already got that. And the APU engine mounts. And you can see a whole list of stuff here. Truck 799. That's John. That's John's truck. And we actually have a whole box. I picked it up. The boss has ordered all the stuff. And this is all for John's truck. And I guess he's coming in on Thursday. This is all sensors and pieces and parts and everything. And that's for John's truck. I guess he's going to be here on Thursday. And we're going to fix up the stuff that he's got wrong. And also, I picked up an alternator. It's sitting there. Picked up a new alternator for his APU. I guess he's having issues with it or something. It's probably because he plugged so much stuff into it. He has so many cords and wires going around that thing. And it's a 65 amp that's in there. Well, I've actually picked up a 120 amp alternator there. And I'm going to put that alternator in his truck, in his APU. And that way his APU should provide plenty of power for everything. So he'll be here on Thursday, and I'm going to be gone tomorrow. I'm going to be working on the black truck. And get that thing running and back here. And then John will be here on Thursday. Tackle a bunch of that stuff. And I got a whole bunch of trailers I got to go through. And I got to go through the shop truck. Gotta do a bunch of stuff to there. It's got to go back in for an inspection for the license plate. And I also got to get the UD in here and go through that. That has to go in for an inspection. It's a yearly thing out here in Maryland. You got to do these inspections. And so I got to do all that stuff. And then I am looking at doing the white Freightliner that's sitting outside. It's parked outside and we haven't made a decision. Well, I haven't made a decision. I am going to be pulling it into the shop here and I'm going to be pulling the motor out of it. I had changed oil and put coolant, the real coolant into it the last time, and I got it all fired up and stuff. It's been sitting out here, and the last time I was out here, the coolant level hadn't changed. This time I came out here, and it's about 2 inches lower, and I pulled the dipstick out, and there is coolant in the engine oil. So I am going to be tearing the truck down to the block, and I'm going to be taking the block. I'm going to inspect it, but then I'm also going to take the block to a machine shop, have them do an inspection on it, do a leak test and everything on it. And if that all checks out good, then check the line bar for the crank, check over the crank, and then machine the head surface and everything, and machine down in a cylinder where the liners go, where the O-rings are and stuff. And it will basically be a brand new block. And then I'm going to do a rebuild on that truck. And that'll be a 100% truck. So there's lots of odds and ends. I'm pretty sore. Look at this, huh? That thing was expensive. The pipe right there, the exhaust comes out, and this truck was always such a pain in the butt. There was probably about 1.5 feet by 1.5 feet, big steel box on the end of there. I think it was considered to be a spark arrestor, and it's always been a pain. Every time you go underneath this truck, you're just whacking your head and catching your shoulder on it. The thing was huge. Well, I guess it finally fell off. There was a bracket on here, and there was a piece stuck in there. I don't know where it went off to, but when I was out getting parts, I checked on it and I was able to get this, and this will slip up in there, and that'll be the actual exhaust tip. But that thing was like $160. I think it was super expensive. So just doing a bunch of odds and ends. Back is pretty sore. I was laying in my truck. I'm sleeping in a truck instead of a motel. Told the boss to save him his money. And I'm staying in one of the Volvos, and it's got a refrigerator with a freezer in it, and I have some ice packs, and that way I can go and sit on an ice pack once in a while. I just got back in here. I've been out of my truck for almost an hour, just laying on ice and stuff. Pretty sore right now. I was doing a couple things that really irritated my back, so I had to take a break. Doing what I can. That's all I can do. So I'm going to let you guys go. I hope that everybody out there is having themselves a great day, great night. So watching this here video. And if you're not, well, certainly let's try that all over again tomorrow. And you can see the DPF filter's gone. Drop that off at the shop, and it's getting cleaned. Probably be picked up tomorrow. I just got this all back together. Pulled the valve cover off, looking for coolant leaking around the injectors. Yeah, this was Big Blue. Same exact truck. But yeah, just doing a whole bunch of odds and ends. I got to try to get all this stuff done, and then I want to get that motor pulled out of the white truck and basically drop it off at a machine shop before I go. And then the boss has a rebuild kit. He already has a rebuild kit for that truck. He bought it for the black truck, and that one didn't happen, and that one, the same rebuild kit as this one, I guess. So he has the rebuild kit already, and so it's here, and they're very hard to get a hold of. And we're just gonna start. I'm gonna start doing a rebuild on it. So that'll be fun. That'll be a brand new truck when I get done with it. Well, catch you guys later. Gotta get back to work.